Hello, everyone, or should I say, Guten Tag. I'm your host, Phil Baki, and welcome to the season's first edition of Two Red Gringos amateur announcing in this Bundesliga matchup between Borussia Dortmund and Werder Bremen. As this is our first shot at this, let me just talk briefly about how it works. You'll pull this feed up as you have if you're watching this, and then you can leave me up or cover me with the match, feed of your choice. Just go ahead and mute that TV or stream and let my dulcet tones describe the action, and hopefully we'll have some fun along the way. Feel free to hit the comments section during the game and be part of the broadcast yourself. This is interactive. It's a dialogue. I'll be out here talking, but aside from that, you guys can get into it. Now go ahead and give you a minute to grab a coffee or finish that perfect over easy egg as you settle in for a battle between two of the great historic West German clubs. I'll be back to talk build up to the game as well as lineups in a few. See you soon. Welcome back to Two Red Gringos amateur announcing. Hope you have your preferred refreshment in hand, because from here on out, it will be all the build-up you could ask for, and then we'll be straight into the action between Borussia Dortmund and Werder Bremen. We'll start with the Schwarzgelb, who will be at home today in their famous home, the Signal Iduna Park, otherwise known as the Westfalenstadion. The club is coming out of a Champions League campaign that no one around Dortmund is going to want to discuss at their upcoming Christmas parties. Winless in a group that saw them and Real Madrid enter as favorites, but somehow Tottenham won. It's there that we can essentially sum up Dortmund's season to date. Full of promise and initially so exciting, but they failed to capitalize on that promise and have had a disappointing campaign that sees them 7th in the Bundesliga and having to settle for Europa League football in the new year. Head coach Peter Bosch has borne the brunt of the criticism, but especially after somehow finding a way to blow a 4-0 halftime lead in their last Bundesliga game against Schalke. He's remained in charge, however, and will be looking to get his first win in the Bundesliga since September, if you can even believe that. Bremen are another team struggling, but they're struggling in a part of the table that starts to make the natives restless. Wow. Sitting in 17th and staring at a Christmas break spent in the relegation places, Florian Kohfeldt will be looking for Max Kruse, who is making his 200th Bundesliga appearance, and Finn Bartels to take what few opportunities they may get as Werder look to sit back and hit Dortmund on the counter. Danish international Thomas Delaney will also be key for Bremen if they want to gain any control in midfield and build on the 3 points they grabbed last time out against VfB Stuttgart. The last time these teams met at this hollow ground, Dortmund ran out winners in a 4-3 thriller, so let's hope for more of the same, shall we? You can see this game's on FS2, so a little tougher to get the feed. For those who can't watch, I'll try to go for more of a radio-style broadcast, describe things a little more than you would on TV, as well as throw in some other talking points as we head over to the lineups. Also, you won't have to watch my face the whole time. I've got a title card with the score, so you'll be able to watch that instead. So I'll go ahead and switch over. All right. For the lineups, we'll start with the home team, Borussia Dortmund. They're going to line up in a 3-4-3. They've got Roman Bürki in goal, Sokratis, Neven Subotic, and Mark Bartra across the back three. Midfield four, which consists of 2 wingbacks, Rafael Guerrero and Marcel Schmelzer, and then Shinji Kagawa and Mahmoud Dahoud make up that 2-man midfield, which Dahoud is a little bit of a surprise start. Nuri Sahin has been the starter most frequently, but Peter Bosch looking to mix things up and throws Dahoud in there to start. Then the front three, and this is really who Dortmund are going to lean on today to assert their dominance over Werder Bremen. It's going to be Yarmolenko on the left, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang through the center, and Christian Pulisic on the right. That is how I see this lineup. Fox are showing a slightly different lineup of a 4-3-3. I don't really see it playing out that way. They have Pulisic on the left as well, and I don't really see that happening. And then moving across to Werder Bremen, they'll play in a 4-4-2 diamond, and this was published by the club. So the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1 that Fox is showing also inaccurate. So Fox doing a bang-up job. But yeah, the official Werder Bremen account tweeted out a 4-4-2 diamond consisting of Pavlenka in goal, Augustinsson, Moisander, Velkovic, and Gebre Selassie across the back four. Philip Bargfried will play in defensive midfield. Thomas Delaney and Maximilian Eggestein play in the 2 central midfield positions. And then Zlatko Junuzovic, who's been so prolific for Werder Bremen in the past, but has had a rough season, initially started with an Achilles injury, and he's just getting over that over the last month or so, and still has no goals or assists to his name, but he will start in that number 10 position. And then the top two, the 2 strikers, they're going to be starved potentially for service, but it is going to be vital that they take the opportunities that come to them. Max Kruse and Finn Bartels. Max Kruse appearing in his 200th Bundesliga game. And with his 4 Bundesliga goals this season, Werder will really be looking for him to step up and add to that total. The teams are in the tunnel. They're lined up. They're about to come out. And the Signal Iduna Park is rocking as you'd expect. The yellow wall, the famous yellow wall. Everyone talks, I'm going to talk about this briefly. Every single person that talks about German football always talks about the vociferous nature of their support and how, they have such a great atmosphere all the time. But what they never talk about is why. Why do German teams have such rabid support, but still safe conditions in the stadium? And I think you can look to, number one, a culture. The first thing and foremost thing is the culture in Germany is that you support your team no matter what. It is representative of your community, and people feel that. But in addition to that, just the normal day-to-day operations of the club, as sparklers are going off in the Werder Bremen end of the stadium. Nice little fireworks display from the fans there. But as the teams comes out, the singing and everything that goes on, and for those who watch the English Premier League most frequently, they always talk about sometimes the atmospheres aren't on par with those in Germany. And the reason for that is because in Germany they've been able to, one, maintain supporter ownership of the clubs. So these supporters are literally invested in the club monetarily, but they feel that connection, part one. And then the second part of it is low ticket prices. These match day experiences are affordable for the normal fan. They're not sold off to corporate interests. The people in the stands truly want to be there and are truly invested in the game. And you feel that in their support for their teams. So as we get started, the teams are out. Hands have been shook, and the referee will do the coin toss to determine who will start the game off as the captains meet at midfield. Zlatko Januzovic taking the armband for Werder Bremen, and Marcel Schmelzer, the captain today for Borussia Dortmund. Referee Manuel Graf. His team will not have to contend with the most fiery rivalry. Bremen and Dortmund separated by about 230 kilometers, so it is not a local derby, but it is a relatively close rivalry of two West German teams with a lot of history and a lot of success in the past. So as we get ready to kick off, Max Kruse is standing over the ball. Bremen will get things started here. And we are off at the Signal Iduna Park. Werder Bremen attacking in the white from right to left. Borussia Dortmund in their classic Schwarz-Gelb, the yellow and black, as is their historic colors. Bremen looking to launch an attack down the right, and it's actually Gebre Selassie who had got forward to try to attack, but it's out for a throw. Dortmund, I think, will look to start quickly. The game, well, maybe Bremen will look to start quickly as things are forward through Kruse, out wide to Augustinsson, back to Junuzovic, who's dispossessed, but surprising here from Bremen, they're trying to maintain some possession here, and they are trying to maintain the pressure on Dortmund. Expected them to sit back, but maybe they're looking for a quick strike to put Dortmund under pressure. But now Pulisic is on the ball and finds Aubameyang, who's drifted out to the left. It's Yarmolenko through the middle, but the cross doesn't quite find him. Pulisic does collect and is able to work the ball. He gets it back on the right. He's looking to cross, plays it in towards Kagawa, who's gotten forward, and the cross towards Aubameyang is cut out in the end by Moisander for Werder Bremen. But they're not able to get all the way out, but maybe they can now, as Dortmund play the ball back to Berkey. It was a little sustained spell of pressure from Bremen there that nearly led to a chance or two, but Dortmund were able to break quickly, and you'll see they'll break through Pulisic often. Going to rely on those skillful forwards to take the opportunities when they can. Pulisic nominated for U.S. Player of the Year in a year that has seen U.S. soccer with easily one of their most disappointing. So it would be a bittersweet award, I think, for Pulisic, as he'd gladly trade U.S. Player of the Year for a chance to play in the World Cup. After a little bit of a frantic start at both ends, Bremen just looking to slow things down here a bit, and you expect this would be more their game plan. Attempting to keep Dortmund from breaking quickly, which both of these teams will look to hit on the counter. It's just the style they play, as Bartels tries to head on, but no one is making a supporting run, and Dortmund are able to collect. Berkey plays a long ball forward towards Yarmolenko, who has started on the right here. Yarmolenko looking to beat Augustinsson for pace, but Augustinsson does well. The Swedish defender able to carry the ball out now. Did well under pressure there. Now Bremen back on the ball through Junuzovic. Bremen looking a little bit threatening here. Selassie back infield towards Eggestein. Long diagonal ball out to the left towards Augustinsson, who can't play the pass around Marc Bartra. And now Aubameyang with a nice deft little touch to get forward, but ultimately cut out by Bremen. It is a fast-paced start here, and you can see exactly what both teams are trying to do. Dortmund are actually letting Bremen have the ball in their defensive half, and they're looking to break with that classic counter-attacking style. It's something that has been a double-edged sword for Dortmund this season, playing this high-line counter-attacking style. They've been very vulnerable defensively, but here they might have something on, as Pulisic is on the ball down the left after a nice 1-2. He's looking for men in the middle, but Moisander has to put it behind for a corner. It is the first real chance here for Borussia Dortmund. They'll look for a good delivery. It'll be Shinji Kagawa to take. No surprises there, especially with Şahin not starting. Everybody's forward for Dortmund, and can they capitalize on this first opportunity? Ball in doesn't beat the man at the near post, and Bremen now looking to counter, but the ball's a little too strong for Max Kruse to chase down. Dortmund looking to play out from the back here. Now they're looking for a more patient build-up. Now it's chipped over. A great run by Aubameyang. He was able to bend his run to get around the defender, and a nice sliding tackle there by Barfried, playing in that defensive mid, that covering position. He was able to cover his fullback. Noticed that he was caught upfield, and a good sliding tackle, but it is another corner for Dortmund, and Yarmolenko will take this one. Aubameyang showing what a threat he is. He's been a bit of a controversial figure as Yarmolenko puts it in towards the near post, and again, Dortmund unable to beat that first man as Pulisic looks to collect. Aubameyang, as I said, a bit of a controversial figure for Dortmund. There is it was Augustusson who cut out the pass and looked to start a counter, but as I said, Aubameyang, he's been called out for some of his behavior during the downtimes for Dortmund, saying he's not focused enough on the team, and a poor throw there by Augustusson will lead to a Roman Berkey goal kick. But he's been jetting around Europe in his time off, and in weeks before games, and Aubameyang, it's been rumored, transfer window after window, that he would be leaving for possibly Madrid. Unsure really who else would be interested now, but he is showing a little bit. I know Milan was interested at one point, but he is showing a bit of impetuosity and just inability to stay focused for the team, and he was suspended by the club for the 4-4 collapse against Schalke, and as Werder were in there, and it was nearly a first goal of the season for Zlatko Junuzovic as he tried to curl one from distance. He ran onto the ball. It was a nice little layoff, and he bent it with his left foot towards the top right corner, and he just barely missed it. Berkey had no chance. He's completely frozen as he ran onto that. Junuzovic, known for striking the ball from free kicks, and he ran onto it there as if he was taking a set piece rather than playing in open play. Now Werder looked to play out again, but Kagel has dispossessed them, and his chip ball forward for Aubameyang is far too strong, and I think Aubameyang would have been offside anyways. Still 0-0, 9 minutes gone. Neither team with a clear-cut chance as of yet. There has been some frantic defending in there, as Pavlenka launches a long ball forward. Werder looking to pressure Dortmund's back line. Has worked for teams in the past as Aubameyang's flick doesn't come off, and now a little frantic pinball in the midfield, and no one was able to gain control, but now Werder have a throw, and Gebre Selassie will collect the ball and restart play. Werder, like I said, sitting 17th. This is a precarious situation for the North German club. As you know, in the Bundesliga, it's the bottom two teams who are automatically relegated, as Bremen are looking to start another attack and maybe climb out of that 17th spot. They are only one place off of, or 1 point out of 16th, and only a few points away from safety. So they're certainly not in trouble yet. They're well off bottom spot. Köln has locked that up, having only 3 points to their name so far this season. So they are 8 points clear of the bottom But sadly, they do sit in that second automatic relegation spot right now. Florian Kofeld pictured, can see he wants this result. This would be a huge result for his club to climb out of those relegation places, especially against a team like Dortmund. And there it was Barfried doing the cleaning up. Pulisic nearly through. And then Cruz looking for that opportunity. It's Finn Bartels who was dispossessed there. See the two managers pictured, both under pressure. Florian Kofeld will be under pressure to get Bremen out of the spot. Peter Bosch into Kofeld's technical area. But he may even be the more under pressure of the two because Bremen are just looking to survive. Dortmund, on the other hand, are looking to be at the top end of that Bundesliga table and in the title race. So far, they've not lived up to expectations after a lightning fast start under Bosch. It looked like they would be all-comers, and now they've looked distinctly average and very vulnerable over the last couple of months. And Bremen looking to start something here. It's Kruse. Oh, it's a save by Berkey. Max Kruse looking to add to his 61 career Bundesliga goals in his 200th appearance, and he nearly had a good opportunity there. There was something very, very much on for Bremen, but Dortmund's keeper to the rescue. It was actually a fairly tame shot in the end from Kruse. He should have probably tested Berkey a little more, but it was straight at the keeper. And now Dortmund looking to start something again. Aubameyang was offside, and the long ball up towards him met with shrugs by the Gabon international. Now Bremen back on the ball. They have shown a patient side, and they have so far reaped the benefits, but now they'll maybe lose the patience a bit. Gebre Selassie venturing forward and putting Guerrero under pressure, but ultimately the Portuguese defender is fouled, and then a foul committed there. It's a barge on Marcel Schmelzer. Junuzovic, here's that chance for Cruz. It's a lovely turn, but in the end, just a tame shot, and Berkey able to collect it at the second attempt just to keep the late run from knocking in the rebound. You can see the Bremen support. The fans are not going to give up on the team, and indeed the team's not going to give up sitting in 17th. Dortmund back on the ball, and it's Socrates looking to his right. Kagawa looking for a searching diagonal ball toward Guerrero. Guerrero infield to Kagawa, and then back out wide to Schmelzer. Very interesting shape that Dortmund are taking up in attacking positions. Very fluid as Bartra now. Back to Socrates, and Socrates will play it all the way back to Berkey. It really is a very interesting shape that Dortmund are taking up. Players getting into wide positions and trying to overload these Bremen defenders down the left, and it's a ball forward towards Pulisic now, and played it in towards Yarmolenko and Aubameyang, but it's blocked by Bremen, and they are able to clear. Dortmund hold it in. And Dahoud's ball forward is not of the required quality. Mahmoud Dahoud joined from Borussia Mönchengladbach in the summer, and he hasn't impressed to the level that he did with the other Borussia club. Very hot prospect, but he definitely has not shown Dortmund what he can do to his full potential, and perhaps he's feeling the pressure of a big money move. Definitely felt, or it seemed as if he felt more comfortable at Gladbach. But perhaps he can show us something else here as he's on the ball now and plays a searching ball for Yarmolenko, and he is able to find it, and the cross is blocked behind for a corner. Moisander able to put it behind, but it will be another corner for Dortmund. This will be their third, and Yarmolenko will look to improve on the last as he was unable to beat the first man at the near post. Ball in and headed away by Bremen. Dortmund able to work it back to Berkey, who's strode towards midfield. Now Kagawa into the left-hand channel, playing a 1-2 with Pulisic. Dortmund looking to find a way around this staunch Bremen defense, which has not allowed a shot from Dortmund as of yet, keeping them pinned back and without any good shooting positions. Not able to find the space that perhaps they thought they might in behind, and it is not the patient game is not the one that Dortmund want to play. They do want to hit Bremen on the break. Plays to their strengths. Bartra plays the ball off of Augustusson for a throw. Searching for Aubameyang here, but Aubameyang decides not to go for the high boot. And Bargfried able to head behind. Bartra into the box towards Aubameyang again. Bartra takes the ball down. Yarmolenko unable to get around Bargfried, and it's booted clear. Now Bremen trying to get the ball under control, but Schmelzer puts it out for a throw, stopping any ideations of a counterattack there from Bremen. The throw does go Dortmund's way though. De Hood trying to find some space, and Yarmolenko's drifted infield and towards midfield fairly far. Just trying to find those pockets of space. See Dortmund players surrounded by 4 Bremen. De Hood's looking for a pass there, and he's surrounded by 4 Bremen players, just unable to find any space or freedom of maneuver there in the center of the park. Bremen's certainly set up tactically well. Kofeld has absolutely studied Dortmund, and he's hoping they can maintain this type of staunch defense that has still yet to allow a shot. We are about to hit the 20-minute mark of the first half, and it is still 0-0. Bremen have managed 2 shots on target. Dortmund have managed 0. And it is a credit so far to the club from Bremen. As the second ball comes onto the pitch. Bartra restarts play and can't play it around Junuzovic in the tight spaces. Bartra with another long throw into the box, but again comes to nothing. So Kraus able to hold that one in, but again Bremen looking to counter now. Can they find the right pass? No, they've slowed play down, and Now they'll have to find a way out of pressure, which Delaney does. Ball forward to Bartles, looking wide for Augustusson, who's pushed forward down that left-hand side, looking for the cross, but it's blocked out by Bartra. Quick throw in leads to a sloppy bit of possession from Bremen, which Yarmolenko takes advantage of, and then his sloppy pass is cut out by Bremen, and more or less Dortmund's half summed up of when they need to play out of pressure, they're not finding the correct pass as the ball forward drops for Junuzovic. Oh, it is just wide. Oh, he absolutely scorched one towards the top corner, and that's now 2 chances for Junuzovic to break his duck. It was a long ball forward to Cruz, which was headed down by Schmelzer and sat up perfectly for Junuzovic to strike towards the right-hand corner, and he nearly deposited that volley right in the postage stamp, but instead it went just high and wide. What a sweet strike from Junuzovic. Absolutely one of the best pure strikers of the ball. And he's now had 2 chances to sight in both his left and right foot. So we'll see what Junuzovic can do as we go forward. Definitely be careful if you're a Dortmund fan. You do not want him getting a free kick on the edge of the area or within basically 30 yards, because he is absolutely deadly from dead ball situations. If he gets the opportunity, the good money is that he will take it. But Dortmund here looking to go the other way, having been let off by what was an absolutely fantastic strike by Junuzovic, but just high and wide. Deserved to open the scoring, but now Guerrero's getting forward. Pulisic unable to escape the pressure from Bremen there. Junuzovic doing a lot of work defensively as well there to close down Pulisic. Now the ball's come infield forward to Hood, whose pass is a bit overcooked, but his second ball comes in towards Aubameyang, and it is in the end headed away by Bremen. Bremen unable to hold on to possession though, and Sokratis able to play it across to his defensive partner Marcel Schmelzer. So you can see that back three again, the shape taken up by Dortmund. Bartra actually playing as a right wing back. Again, unable to find that attacking trident. The front three so deadly for Dortmund when they are on song, but so far do not have the required quality to break down Bremen, and Bremen now pushing the other way as Augustusson will restart from the throw. 25 minutes gone. Bremen pushing forward, but it is still 0-0. Junuzovic, who's had the 2 best chances and actually set up the 3rd best chance for Max Kruse. But those 3 chances really the only chances for either side in the game, and they've all gone Bremen's way. Bosch will not be happy with how his team have started in terms of attacking creativity. The ball comes into the box, but eventually out for another Bremen throw. Kruse is actually drifting out wide to take this one, and eventually hands it off to Augustusson, which does make a bit more sense. Bremen play the ball all the way back to Bargfried, who's sitting deep in between the center backs. Bartels collects for Bremen and looks to turn, plays an outside of the boot pass out to Cruz. Maybe Bremen can build something here. Cruz out wide. Brought under control by Delaney. Oh, what a strike! What a strike, and it's actually Maximilian Augustin. It is 1-0 Werder Bremen, and Maximilian Augustin has his first ever Bundesliga goal for the club. What a strike by the youngster. As the ball came from Kruse out wide, Augustin just lost his man and curls a beautiful left foot shot into the bottom left corner past Berkey. Absolutely no chance. What a goal. And what a start for Werder Bremen. Excellent first touch. The second was better. And the third, absolutely sweet. Maximilian Augustin with his first goal of this Bundesliga campaign, and what a goal. Augustin, for those who don't know, he does have one DFB Pokal goal for Bremen. That was his first ever goal for the club, but his first Bundesliga goal comes today against Dortmund in the Signal Iduna Park. What a moment for the youngster, and he's a player who has come through the ranks at Bremen, and he has earned his rewards there. Dortmund shell-shocked by a great goal from a bright young talent. Augustin has been with Bremen since his early youth days, has come up through the youth ranks, and now is making an impact for the club in the Bundesliga. Dortmund, though, looking to change the script here. They don't want a fairy tale. They want expected domination. Bartra looking for Aubameyang, who goes over in the box, but he's never getting that call. He went over very, very easily. It was a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Really well-weighted ball, but Bargfried, yeah, it's just a nudge, and Aubameyang was looking for it. The referee not moved in the slightest. Most people will see Bremen in the lead and be surprised, but on the balance of this game, they deserve to be ahead. They scored on their hardest chance, actually, of the three that, well, they've really created four now, and of the four, it was the most difficult, but Augustin converted brilliantly to give Bremen the lead. Dortmund going forward in a 1-2 between Pulisic and Aubameyang leads to nothing, and a long boot out by Bremen. Augustin pictured again. What a time to grab your first Bundesliga goal for your club. Can see the Dortmund fans aren't going to give up on their team, but it's Dahoud now striding forward. Nice run. And it was a flick from Aubameyang, but Dahoud just not able to get on the end of it. Dortmund just playing under pressure here, and now a foul is called on Finn Bartels. Referee says he had grabbed Socrates' arm, and that's why he's given the foul. But Bartels has come off second best from that challenge, just stepped on by Socrates at the time when he pulled the Greek defender back. Bartels just walking that one off a bit. Just an impact injury as we cross the 30-minute mark here in the first half. Bremen leading 1-0 in the Signal Iduna Park. Fantastic start for the northern club. And in our other Bundesliga games this morning, Bayern and Leipzig lead, but so no surprises in the other games. The other big games, Hamburg and Wolfsburg still tied at 0-0. And now Bartels has actually walked off. He is struggling after being stepped on there by Socrates. And that would be a blow for Bremen if they had to bring Bartels off in the first half for an injury. The longtime Holstein Kiel striker who has, despite being a couple years older, still only has 150 Bundesliga appearances to Max Kruse's 200, but most of his service was in the second division with Holstein Kiel, who, and you can just see right there, right where their feet get tangled. It's awkward. Bartels steps a little awkwardly, and he's holding the back of his heel, which Slavko Junuzovic, having just come over a long-term Achilles injury, Bartels may be feeling similar pain right now, and he's struggling to get towards the bench under help, and it does look like Finn Bartels will have to come off here as we approach the 33-minute mark, and we'll see when the referee will allow the substitution for the time. Bremen playing with 10 men, but that won't stop them from attacking. As the ball comes forward to Kruse. Kruse is through here. Oh, and he's put it over. He blasted it over. I'm not sure if Berkey got a touch. It doesn't look like it. What an opportunity for 10-man Bremen. Playing with 10 because of the Bartels injury, and he just chose power. Bremen with a great chance. I almost can't believe that Kruse hasn't put that away. 200 Bundesliga appearances and 61 Bundesliga goals, and you just would have backed the German depositing that in the top corner. Instead, Dortmund coming the other way, and now it's Schmelzer pushing into an advanced position. His dummy by Aubameyang drops for Dahoud, but his strike is blocked away, and Dortmund trying to keep the pressure on. Bremen still playing very solidly defensively. It was Gebre Selassie who headed that away. Bremen collect through Augustusson. His long ball forward to Junuzovic. And it was just a wayward pass that allowed Berkey to collect, and now Dortmund to attack the other way through Guerrero. Lays it off for Pulisic. Pulisic using his pace. Tries to play a 1-2 with Guerrero down the flank, but just cut out and put out for a Bremen throw. Pulisic was hoping for not a pen, but a foul there for a pullback as he tried to get around the Bremen defense, but again, nothing given. Long ball forward by Pavlenka and just about dealt with by Neven Subotic. I feel like I've barely said Subotic's name so far this half, and as we see the stats there, it basically tells you the story of the game. Dortmund dominating possession, but not really creating anything, and that's where their struggle has been. Bremen has been able to control things. And you can see Finn Bartels pictured on the sidelines. He is devastated. He's in a lot of pain, and you have to think that with those type of reactions from him, the thought may be that it is potentially a long-term injury, which would be obviously poor for the club. As Aubameyang here, forward for Dortmund, but his cross is lofted towards the back post, and Selassie's able to deal with it rather easily. Just a bit too casual from Aubameyang there. He was looking for something a little more direct, and the lofted cross just wasn't never going to beat that back line from Bremen. Dortmund trying to spread them out here, but the long ball from Berkey actually turns into possession from Bremen, with Moisander looking forward for Cruz, who lays it off for Januzovic, and it's Eggestein again on the ball, but Eggestein dispossessed in the end. Some good play there by Shinji Kagawa. Dortmund again coming forward, and it's Pulisic, but cut out. And it's been so reliable from this Bremen defense. Florian Kohfeldt, the manager, has absolutely got this team up for this game and sent them out with a plan that has worked to perfection so far. As that ball will be kept in by Aubameyang, but in the end, Bargfried able to clean up and then earn the foul. Smart, very smart play by Philip Bargfried there. Bosch handing out some instructions to Bartra. Bosch has been under a lot of pressure recently. As you know, Dortmund crashing out of the Champions League in midweek, and it was a good performance, a good game against Real Madrid, but in the end losing 3-2, and it really highlighted basically what has been Dortmund's problem this year. They can score, they can hang with the best, but in the end their defensive qualities just do not support what they have going forward, and Bosch has taken the brunt of the criticism for that. He has not been able to win over the Dortmund faithful so far. Pulisic going forward, and then eventually it does come back to Guerrero. Bosch will be hoping their fortunes change a bit here, as it's Yarmolenko onto his left foot, but never on target and just scuffed wide. Yarmolenko collected on the edge of the area and just didn't get the bend on the shot that he would have wanted. Here's another view of the Eggestein goal. What a strike from the youngster. Fantastic. And the reaction from Kohfeldt tells you everything you need to know about what that means to Werder Bremen. He can be very happy, as we only have about 5 minutes plus whatever's added on at the end of the half. Should not be much, but we have about 5 to 7 minutes left of action in the first half, and Kohfeldt can be absolutely overjoyed with the performance so far from his club. His players are executing his plan to perfection. Meanwhile, the executive team from Dortmund looks on with consternation, and indeed the questions are going to be asked, especially if Dortmund do not find a way to come back and win this game, going into the winter break with No Champions League. They'll be playing Europa League in the new year. Without Champions League and falling further and further adrift of the top of the Bundesliga, how much longer will Bosch be given in charge? Dortmund just have not looked the inspired side that they initially did under Bosch, but they may have found Aubameyang. He was offside, and the flag is raised. Things will go back Bremen's way. Yeah. Bargfried stepped up, which played Aubameyang offside, and well done. Good discipline from the Bremen back line, as they've displayed this entire game. The cameras keep going to Kofeld, but as I've said, his plan is working. And Bosch will have to make some adjustments at halftime to begin to create more. Pulisic just trying to do a bit too much down the sideline there, and it's out for a Bremen throw. Ball in from Selassie, flicked down the sideline, but not able to find Augustin there on the right. Schmelzer looking to restart play, as he does towards Socrates. Now Bartra looking to play past Augustin. Now the ball's cut out, and Bremen may have another chance on the counter here. Stopped smartly by Shinji Kagawa. He has been one of the few bright spots in that Dortmund midfield, just maintaining some semblance of control. But as I say his name, the curse of the commentator, his pass is well overcooked for Christian Pulisic. Kagawa looking forward to a World Cup this summer in Russia with Japan. Japan easily qualifying out of the Asian Confederation. That long ball forward is flicked on by Selassie, who in the end gets it back, and he's got options on here. Kruse plays it out wide for Augustin. Well, Augustin looks for a cross towards the back post, but headed out and collected by Yarmolenko, who opts for a long boot forward. Aimless pass that's out for a throw, and Aubameyang never had a shot at that. Bargfried tracking him the whole way, and I think that's one of the things that Kofeld has also done is Bargfried is man-marking Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and he's absolutely shut him down in this first half. That's quite a tall task to be given, to be asked to man-mark one of the best attackers in the world. But indeed, he has done the job so far, Philipp Bargfried. It really has to be said what a job this entire Bremen team has done to come to Dortmund and not only shut down Borussia Dortmund defensively, but to create chances themselves as well. It's been a dream first half for the men in green. But Aubameyang can change all of that with a ball in towards Kagawa. Beaten in the air and then eventually headed out as Delaney. And booted clear by Selassie as we enter stoppage time at the end of the first half. Kruse looking to put that back line under pressure. And there will be no added time at the end of the first half. The referee blows at 45 minutes. And that is it. Augustin with the goal in the first half to give Bremen a shock lead. It has been quite a performance from the team in 17th. to shut down Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund with almost no chances to speak of in that first half. What a job it's been by Florian Kohfeldt's men. As we head into halftime, Bremen with the lead through Eggestein. We will be back for the second half in about 15 minutes. And so now would be a good time to refill that coffee. And I will see you guys in just a few. And we are back, everybody. As the second half looks to get started, Bremen headed back out, and it's Nuri Sahin who will actually be introduced at the half. Interested to see if they go like for like and sacrifice Dahoud. Schürrle to come on as well. And it is a shake-up here from Bosch. Sahin looking to get the players riled up, and it won't be Sahin for Dahoud. Still trying to ascertain who's been replaced, but Schürrle and Sahin have been introduced at halftime, so 2 substitutions already made by Peter Bosch at halftime, looking to turn this around. He feels the pressure, and as well he probably should. Dortmund looking to kick off the second half. The snow has stopped in Bremen, but it's certainly cold. You can see all the players trying to keep moving. They'll warm up quickly enough, though, in the second half. The referee's whistle gets us underway. Again, still trying to see who's been replaced. But Dahoud has not come off. Schmelzer on the ball now. Kagawa, Sahin now sitting in that defensive midfield spot. So it looks as though Subotic on the ball now, Schmelzer. So Guerrero's been substituted for Sahin. So they've dropped to a back 4, and then Yarmolenko yanked off for Andre Schürrle. Bosch clearly not happy with his contribution in the first half, and I don't know that it was anything Guerrero did so much as Bosch looking for a change of shape by putting Sahin on. And now you can see they're almost playing a 4-2-3-1 Dortmund, with Schürrle on the left, Kagawa in the number 10 role, and Pulisic on the right, and then a midfield 2 of Dahoud and Sahin just in front of their back 4. So things have changed here as we begin the second half fairly drastically for Dortmund, and as they look to turn this around. And Kagawa with a chance now, and tipped over the bar by Pavlenka. Good save by the Czech keeper, and it will be a corner for Dortmund. They haven't taken those chances so far, and I'm not sure it was on target, but Pavlenka had to make the save. He didn't have a choice. Kagawa, who earned the corner, now to take the corner. It's flicked on by Bartra, but easily collected by Pavlenka. Didn't get the required power on the header, and Bremen able to boot it long, but Dortmund collecting again, and you can see on the substitutes bench they just look a little light for options to turn this game around. Maximilian Philippe obviously injured. He's going to be a long-term injury after his injury in midweek. And Isaac is the only player, the youth striker, Swedish international, is really the only option in terms of another attacker to potentially turn this game around. But maybe the change of shape will just do enough for Dortmund here. They are looking a bit dangerous down the right. As the cross comes in towards Aubameyang, but headed away. That is the type of situation where Aubameyang can be very dangerous, and Selassie dealt with it very well. Now Subotic plays a long diagonal ball. Bartra flicked on there by Pulisic. Schürrle looking to keep the play alive. It's palmed away by Pavlenka, but there's so many Dortmund players in the box and none of them can get a shot off, and Pulisic eventually just kind of trips over the ball and got tied up in the mess of bodies there, and Dortmund really should have made more of it. Pavlenka did just enough to put off Aubameyang, and Pulisic just lost his balance. Schürrle's initial floated ball in was really good, and Pavlenka just did enough. And then it was actually Dahoud who put Pulisic off the most, I think. A little bit of fratricide there. You can see the title card that I'm using reflects the lead of Bremen as that ball's given away by Sokratis, and Junuzovic coming forward, drifted in, and Bremen not able to get on the end of it. But Dortmund sloppy again and nearly chipped through. And a goal kick given. Kruse furious. Thought he had earned inside a corner. It did. Oh, it was Augustusson actually getting down the left, and it did definitely look like a. It looked like that should have been a corner for Bremen and would have been their first. Dortmund have been vulnerable from set pieces. Ball flick forward and no foul given. Aubameyang again going over fairly easily, and Bremen actually have another player down in midfield. It's Junuzovic, and he's asking for the referee to stop play, but he's been told to stand up, and he's carried on. It doesn't look like he's struggling all that much. Kagawa on the ball now. Kagawa to Schmelzer. Why for Schürrle, the low cross. Maybe dealt with here by Bremen. And Schürrle actually made contact with that. It stays in for Bartra, who puts a cross back in towards Aubameyang. But the strike from Schürrle saved by Pavlenka. Schürrle struck that one sweetly, and a good save by Bremen's keeper to maintain this lead. But Dortmund definitely coming out with a fire in their belly. Junuzovic just struggling a little bit. I think he may be just trying to. It looks like a calf injury. Junuzovic might be signaling that he's not going to be able to continue. What a strike from Schürrle. Schürrle, another player that just hasn't shown the level. Wow, and Junuzovic will need to be substituted. Junuzovic just coming off of a Achilles injury just over a month ago, and now he's signaled that he won't be able to continue, and he's handed the armband off to Augustusson. Disappointing for Bremen, because that's now the second substitution that they'll have to make due to injury, and it's Gondorf who will be introduced in place of Junuzovic. Gondorf, certainly more of a central midfielder than an attacking option that Junuzovic is, and it does take away that threat from set pieces just a bit for Bremen. Junuzovic, the free kick specialist, one of the best in the Bundesliga. So now 2 injury and 4 substitutions for Bremen, while on the other side of the ball, Dortmund have made 2 tactical changes with no injuries. So both teams with only 1 sub remaining. apologies for that. Still working out the kinks on my end. But we are back. For those just joining us, Bremen leading here in Dortmund. 1-0. Maximilian Eggestein with the strike that gave Dortmund the lead, or Bremen the lead, and what a strike it was. Dortmund completely changing things up at halftime, and for the last 10 minutes have been testing Bremen's defensive strength, but Bremen have proven equal to the task so far. Couple of nervy moments, and Andre Schürrle looking like a good introduction here as Dortmund looked to play some neat football through the Bremen defense, but Kagawa's 1-2 doesn't come off, and now Kruse chasing a long ball. But Berkey able to calm the situation down. And now Şahin in midfield. Şahin, one of the halftime introductions as well, and searches out Schmelzer on the left. Good work there by Bremen to gain control, but not able to hold it. And that's been the story of this half so far. Dortmund absolutely dominating possession, and they are starting to create. So this is going to be a difficult task for Bremen to see this game out. Junuzovic and Bartels already off, and now a chip ball forward for Kagawa, headed across to Aubameyang. And it's in, it's bundled in. Aubameyang has scored for Dortmund and leveled this game. It was a scrappy goal, about as scrappy as you can get, and definitely not of the quality that you'd expect. But Veljkovic there just found wanting defensively, and he's had a good game so far for Bremen, but that's all it takes is one moment, and I think this goal is definitely going to get looked at by the video assistant, because the only question is, well, one, was Aubameyang offside? Because he's not on the second attempt. But then second, does he foul the keeper there? That's the only question. Does the ball get across the line before he bundles over the Pavlenka? He kind of carries the ball across with his arm too. I don't know if that goal is going to be good after the video assistant looks at it, because it's bundled in, but he barges the keeper over, and I think it's being looked at. It is his 12th goal of the season if it stands, but they are going to take the time to, and it's not being reviewed, and play continues. Well, just like that. The score is 1-1. And it's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang who has leveled things for Dortmund. Bremen trying to get forward and immediately change the scoreline again, but as we approach the hour mark, now we're level again in Dortmund, and the way Dortmund started this half, they're going to be looking to get all 3 points here. I don't think they will be content with any less, but Bremen had played so well in the first half, and to concede such a scrappy goal is so difficult. They'll have to pick themselves up here quickly, because Schmelzer's forward, and he's looking for Kagawa, can't find him. The ball eventually finds its way out to Kruse, but his pass is only able to find Socrates, but Socrates' ball deflected and into the arms of Pavlenka. Pavlenka pictured there, I think he probably felt he was fouled prior to the Aubameyang goal, but nothing given, and the video assistant has given nothing either, and now Bremen under pressure. They may still be happy with a point, but they were in a winning position, and from such a quality goal. But Dortmund have equalized, and that is where we stand as we cross the hour mark. A loose pass there allows Kruse to collect, and Socrates eventually fouls him. And I think Socrates will just get a talking to. Moisander, Delaney, and Kruse all pleading their case that Socrates should be booked, but he avoids the book for now. It was a poor foul by the Greek defender, and Schürrle looking to start a counter there for Dortmund, but indeed runs the ball out of play. Bremen maintaining possession, but only for a minute. Now Aubameyang, who's dropped very deep, plays the ball to Pulisic, who's also dropped very deep. Looking across the Bundesliga, Leipzig lead Mainz 2-1. If you haven't seen Leipzig's first goal, take a look. It is an absolute peach. And Bremen now coming forward, but the flag is raised. I believe it was Augustinsson getting down the left, and the snow has restarted in Dortmund. It is coming down fairly steadily. Dortmund will look to use the conditions to their favor on their home field as Pulisic looks for a cross from Aubameyang, but it's behind everybody and cut out by Bremen. They look to go the other way. Kruse unable to control that pass from Augustinsson. Now Dortmund back on the ball. Dahoud. Aubameyang tried to flick on for Pulisic, and it just didn't come off. And now Kynes going the other way. Kynes with options forward. They're in here and chip through, and it's just wide. What a chance for Bremen on the break there. It was Kynes who slipped the ball through, and the chip over Berkey beat the keeper, but it beat the post as well. And now Dortmund able to come the other way. That is a big let-off for Dortmund. That it was such a big chance. Such a big chance for Bremen to change things here. Dahoud looking to switch play out to the right, and he's found Bartra. Socrates and Bartra linking up. Bartra's searching ball. Found a flat-footed Pulisic, and Bartra not happy that the attacker in front of him didn't make the run. Interesting. Here's another look at the goal, and there's an appeal for handball initially, and then he bundles the keeper into the net. There a lot of controversy. Does it come off his hand, or does it come off the defender's head? That is the question, but no matter. Kynes is forward here for Bremen. Ball into the far post, the strike, and it's just saved by Berkey. What a save. Fingertip save by the Dortmund keeper to keep things level here, and Bremen will have their first corner. It's a good strike. I think it was Delaney who nearly found that bottom right corner. Kruse now to take the corner in front of the Bremen faithful. It's put into the box, and a header in! And it's in! And Bremen lead again, and it's Gebre Selassie! Bremen have restored their lead here in Dortmund. And Dortmund continued to fail to deal with set pieces. Bosch looking on, absolutely bemused. Selassie delighted. And what a ball it was from Max Kruse to set that goal up for Werder Bremen and restore that lead. A bullet header that Berkey had no chance to save. He got a little bit on it, but that was always headed for the net after Delaney, I think, just put off the defender, and Subotic flailed a boot at it, but he was never likely to deal with that situation. Dortmund now find themselves behind again. Absolutely. If you're Dortmund, you absolutely have to deal with that ball. You just have to, and in the end, Subotic found wanting, beat by Selasi's diving header, which powered past Berkey. What a match we have here on our hands in Dortmund, as Dortmund have already made 2 substitutions at halftime for those of you just joining us. Those 2 substitutions, Nuri Sahin was introduced for Rafael Guerrero to change the shape of Dortmund to a back 4. Meanwhile, Andre Schürrle was brought on for Yarmolenko as a straight attacking swap, but it has not reaped the rewards that they were hoping. It did bring them level through Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang just after halftime, but the lead only lasted about 6 minutes, and Bremen gained the lead again through a Gebre Selassie header, his first goal of the season, and now 2 players who had yet to score a goal in the Bundesliga have scored. Maximilian Eggestein starting the scoring for Bremen, and then Gebre Selassie, the defender, powering a header in. Again, what a response from Bremen to Dortmund equalizing. It would have been easy to concede following that scrappy goal from Aubameyang, and Dortmund are looking dangerous here. Schürrle with a deflected cross, but it is dealt with by Bargfried, and then Delaney heads it on towards Kynes. Delaney plays another ball again, and Kruse brings it under control. Options here for Dortmund as he tries to switch play, but Augustusson never likely to keep that, as Bremen have another player down in midfield. And it was a coming together between Bartra as we take another look at the goal. It's Delaney doesn't quite get there, but Selassie followed it in, and I think just put off enough there, as Bremen are back to full strength now and no injury concerns right now. I think that's another foul advantage played, though, and Bremen are given the freedom to attack. Augustusson, that's dropped wide. Back to Augustusson, low cross, just weakly hit, mishit, and never likely to find a target in the box. Now Dortmund on the ball through Aubameyang, who's dropped to midfield, and a foul now given against Bremen. There's a bit of a rash challenge there from Moisander, and he gets the ball, though. The follow-through does take Pulisic, but a bit unlucky to have that foul given against him. Kagawa, Dortmund looking for ways around Bremen again. It was a lofted cross in the beginning, which brought them level about the hour mark, but that lead lasted Only about 6 minutes. Now, as we only have about 20 minutes left to play, Dortmund looking for another equalizer here. But they won't find it there, and now Bremen looking to break. Kainz receives a good ball from Kruse. He's got options to his right. It's brought under control. Cross in towards the center, but no Bremen players can get on the end of it, and De Hood actually carries it forward now for Dortmund. Kagawa out wide for Pulisic. Pulisic looking to cut inside. He finds De Hood, but De Hood's pass for Schürrle cut out. And Bremen can look to counter again. Held up well there by Kainz, but eventually overtaken. And now Şahin looking for a bending run by Pulisic. Pulisic brings it under control. He's looking to bring it onto his right. Pulisic in towards Aubameyang, but again cut out. Bremen just continuing to do the hard work in there, and it's Bargfried again, man marking Aubameyang that has made the difference. But Schmelzer now on the ball, deflected cross out for a throw. Pulisic coming forward. He's all over the place now. Cross towards the far post, headed down, and it's Kagawa! Oh my, how has he not scored? How has he not scored? Shinji Kagawa with a golden opportunity to bring Dortmund level again. Good work from Pulisic to get the cross down, and it was headed down by Schürrle, and I think it's actually blocked by Aubameyang, who tripped in front of the goal. It is. Aubameyang has given a gift to Werder Bremen. It hit off his shoulder and went over. Bosch must be thinking, what do I have to do to get a goal here? How unlucky do you have to be? Aubameyang blocks his own player's shot, which was almost a certain goal. Unbelievable. And now Kainz restarting the attack here. And a 1-2 looking to be played. Bartra smart to it, though, and clears. It's eventually out for a Dortmund throw. What a sequence. Pulisic did so well to work that cross to the far post. He hasn't had the most luck today, but did so well down the left after switching flanks with Schürrle. He found Schürrle, who nodded the ball down for Kagawa, making a late run into the box, but Aubameyang played defense for Bremen and deflected Kagawa's shot behind for a goal kick. Kruse unable to bring that ball under control as Bremen concede possession to Dortmund. I can't believe that is how Dortmund are kept from equalizing. Bosch may be cursed. He is not found life easy at Dortmund here in his first half season with the club, and after switching from Ajax, and it's moments like that he just cannot catch a break since coming to Germany. Kagawa looking right for Bartra. Bartra's ventured forward. He's chipped the ball through to Aubameyang, but Pavlenka always favorite to get there. Pavlenka looking to restart play smartly here, but he is pushing Bremen downfield. It's a bit of a shank on his punt. Kruse able to salvage it, but I believe Selassie plays it out for a throw, and Dortmund restart quickly. Just squeezed out of possession there. Oh, well done in midfield by Kruse. So good at holding up play, and it's a mishit by Kainz. Such a good chance at a counter, and in the end, just unable to bring it under control, and now Pulisic does just that, finding De Hood. De Hood playing in Schmelzer, who looks wide for Schürrle down the left. Schürrle's deflected cross nearly finding Aubameyang, but Bremen wise to it again, and Kruse again with just absolutely brilliant hold-up play. Kainz this time maintains possession, and he's charging forward. He's got options to his left, and he does pick out the pass. Bremen here, can they shape something? He's found Eggestein on the left, whose cross is over everyone. And given the quality of his strike in the first half, you'd have banked him putting in a better ball. Alas, it is out and back Dortmund's way. Şahin just directing the midfield. He has been the most vocal out there here in the second half since coming on. De Hood plays a good ball through to Schürrle, but can't bring it under control. Schürrle frustrated. Expected a better ball from De Hood. With only 15 minutes to go, Dortmund need to find some inspiration here. Kainz getting just a bit of inspiration from his manager. Kofeld looking to see this game out and looking to introduce his last sub to do just that. Look around the other scores of the Bundesliga. Bayern still leading. Eintracht Frankfurt. Leipzig leading Mainz 2-1. And Hamburg and Wolfsburg still locked at 0-0. Bremen with the ball now, and Florian Kofeld, the Bremen manager, must be thinking, one more goal. If we can snatch one more goal, we'll surely see this out. But it is finally poised right now as heading towards this winter break. If Dortmund suffer another defeat at the hands of on paper inferior opposition, how much longer is Bosch going to be given? Kofeld has absolutely tactically outgunned Bosch here. Whatever the result, if Dortmund's quality can show through, then more credit to them. But Kofeld's setup has been brilliant, as a quick ball around the corner towards Kainz is cut out by Socrates. Now Dortmund just looking to build that pressure again, but the majority of their pressure came at the start of the half, and Bremen have kind of eased Dortmund out of this game a little bit. They have not looked that good since the goal, but all that can change in an instant with players like Aubameyang on the team. Dortmund able to snuff out a Bremen counter there. Şahin instrumental in midfield so far. Pulisic trying to run through. I thought Bremen had won the ball there, but Dortmund do earn a free kick out on the right flank. It was a good run. Oh, and I stand corrected. A good spot by the referee. Ball put in by Dortmund quickly. And an attempted overhead kick by Subotic leads to a Bremen counter. Oh, and this could be bad if Bremen had found a way through on that counter after a failed overhead kick by Subotic, where all he had to do was maintain the pressure. A simple header down keeps Bremen under pressure and keeps them pinned back in their area, and instead a failed overhead kick nearly launched the counter for Bremen, and Bremen do maintain possession. Oh, and now a foul throw has been given against Bremen. It's not every day that you see those given. Bartra will restart with a good throw, but in the end, it's not that good, as Eggestein's been found. Now Selassie venturing down the right, tracked by Schürrle and eventually fouled by Schürrle. Not a good foul by the German. Just gives Bremen an opportunity here. Maybe they can shape something from this set piece. Kruse will look to deliver a ball almost of the same quality that he delivered off the corner, which gave Bremen this 2-1 lead. He instead opts to play it short, and Bremen looking to manage this game as we enter the last 10 minutes. Leading 2-1 at the Westfalenstadion, a.k.a. the Signal Iduna Park. I think Bremen trying to claim that was a back pass to Berkey. Don't think so. So Krata striding forward with the ball now for Dortmund. Dortmund again just not able to create the chances required in this game. Bremen have had the better of the chances. Junuzovic with 2 in the first half that both admittedly would have been brilliant goals had they flown in. Kruse with the simplest chance of the first half, but his shot was straight at Berkey. And then finally the chance that led to the goal was a brilliant strike from Maximilian Eggestein, who finds himself on the ball now down the right. And Bremen looking to counter again. A bad tackle there by Nuri Sahin. And that's a foul. And the last roll of the dice here by Bosch, we'll see Isaac, the young Swedish striker, come on for Mahmoud Dahoud. Dahoud quiet today. Isaac will look to make a difference. Header down by Selassie towards the Bremen attackers, collected in the end by Dortmund's defenders. A 1-2 finds Selassie nearly through, but a good tackle in the end by Sahin. Lets Kagawa launch a ball forward to Aubameyang, who's onside, and Aubameyang across to Schürrle. Schürrle's shot is saved by Pavlenka. Didn't get the power on it that he needed, and that shows you just how quickly that Dortmund can create these chances, but again, they've been wasteful. Today, I think you can say that they really haven't created the number of chances that you'd expect against a team like Bremen, but Bremen have done so well at just extinguishing some of these attacks as Isaac looks for his first involvement forward for Dortmund, but is unable to bring the ball under control. And now Kruse holding up play again and finding Delaney in the center of the park. Kruse with a great performance today. All he needs is a goal to cap it off, but I'm sure he'll be happy as long as Bremen are able to hold on for these vital 3 points. Schürrle plays the ball off Selassie there, out for a throw, and the last substitution to be made here. We'll see Bauer come on for Werder Bremen. It is a defensive change, and it'll actually be Kynes, the substitute, who came on for Finn Bartels in the first half. And Florian Kofeld just having a conversation there with Kynes that it was not, I believe what he's telling him is, I'm not bringing you off because of anything you've done wrong, but simply because I'm throwing on Bauer to see this game out. 6 minutes plus whatever added time to be played. And only 6 minutes for Dortmund to salvage something from this game as Bremen restart things with a short free kick. A flick through may cause some joy here for Augustason down the left, but Bartra able to cut that out, but I believe he carried it out of play for a Bremen throw. Dortmund just not as sharp as you'd expect. And that man Bosch will not escape the criticisms you'd have to expect regardless of result today. And that long ball forward towards Isaac, just unable to find the Swedish teenager. Dortmund will only see things get harder from here as they play Mainz and Hoffenheim in their next two matches. Meanwhile, Bremen have Leverkusen and Mainz, so Mainz a shared foe between these teams as we approach the Christmas break. Long ball forward by Dortmund, again a bit aimless and headed away by Bremen. Kruse trying to hold up play, but nothing doing. Bauer chasing down every ball. You can tell he's been put on to press. He's been put on to put Dortmund under pressure when able. But Dortmund able to escape that pressure, and now they'll look to build, but it's a long ball forward towards Aubameyang, and again, Selassie heads away. Dortmund will recycle the ball and looking for the key that will unlock this staunch Bremen defense as Pulisic nearly brings that ball under his spell with a brilliant first touch, but can't get a second. Bremen are absolutely everywhere, swarming any Dortmund player that nearly gets a touch in the area, and Aubameyang's flicked header goes behind for a goal kick. They still have time to prove me wrong, but from what I've seen, Dortmund are not finding a way back in this game. It will take a moment of magic for them to equalize the way that Bremen's defense are playing. Shown one sign of weakness. That was on the one goal they conceded, which was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's 12th of the season. But indeed, that was their one lapse, and they deservedly lead on the balance. And again, great work by Bremen to dispossess Dortmund, although Dortmund do keep the pressure on, and Schmelzer able to find Aubameyang down the left. Now Şahin just looking to dictate things from a bit deeper. Dortmund trying more hopeful balls into the area. Oh, and Kruse maybe on here. Kruse's onside and down the left. Will he look to play in? He is. He's found Delaney in the area. Delaney just waited too long, and he should have hit it first time. You can tell he's not the most attacking player. He found the ball in the box, and he just looked completely out of sorts. That could have been the dagger for Bremen, and if Dortmund are able to find a late equalizer here, that moment will be looked at, because Kruse did brilliantly to one, be released on the counter, and then two, to find Delaney with so much space. Delaney just hesitated. He should have hit it first time. So Aubameyang leaping for another hopeful ball into the area, but once again, Bremen climb highest and claim that. So now Augustusson collects the throw out from Pavlenka. Kruse holding up the ball again. Now a long overhead kick forward will actually find Gondorf, who's up against Socrates. Socrates fouled there by Gondorf, just relieving the pressure a bit. Again, we are approaching the end of regular time, and you have to think, there haven't been that many stoppages. I don't think Dortmund can expect much more than maybe 2 minutes. Maybe 3, since there was no added time at the end of the first half. As now a Bremen player down with what looked to be a head injury. The ball's in towards Pulisic. Kagawa strikes, and it's just wide. Kagawa, you have to think he's feeling unlucky right now. He had a strike blocked by Aubameyang in the first half, and it was Pulisic's initial strike that was blocked off. Kagawa's strike goes just wide, and you can See the frustration from the Japanese midfielder. As the clock ticks to 90. 4 minutes. 4 added minutes. Well, the only explanation I have for that is that the referee hasn't added on maybe 2 minutes that he wanted to add it on at the end of the first, or would have added on at the end of the first, because there's no way that across the second half there's been 4 minutes of stoppages. I don't see it. So Bremen will have to see out 4 more minutes in stoppage time to hold on to the 3 points, and what a 3 points it would be. They deserve it on the day, but will that Thomas Delaney chance just a couple minutes ago leave them regretful as Dortmund put the pressure on? Aubameyang looking to potentially overhead, but thinks better of it. Schürrle now on the left, delivers a cross in, Pavlenka collects. And that is about how Dortmund's day is gone. Not a good enough delivery in most aspects offensively, and then just not quite good enough defensively. And now Selassie appealing for a foul, but Dortmund also appealing for a foul on Schürrle. I think it's eventually gone Schürrle's way. Yeah, Schürrle stepped in front of the ball. It was a smart play, but again, Dortmund concede possession and Bremen just hoof it long. Half of the 4 minutes of stoppage time have been played. Another searching ball forward, but it's again aimless, and just Bosch's men seem pretty much out of ideas at this point. What a job by Bremen and Florian Kofeld, their manager. He set them up for success today. Selassie restarting with a throw, and Kruse again with a great touch. And Bremen here just catching Dortmund forward. And can Bremen add some icing to this cake? Well, they had elected to take the ball to the corner, and eventually Socrates commits a foul. And as the clock ticks onto the last minute of stoppage time, you just think that may be it here for Dortmund, as Bremen are willing to play the ball down the left-hand side and just take the ball to the corner for at a time, and I think it'll be out for a corner. This will tick off most of the rest of stoppage time, and this corner may be the last act of the game. They'll take it short, they'll hold it in the corner, and Bremen will most likely come out of here with 3 vital points. You'll know when the final whistle goes, because there will be silence in the stadium, and the Bremen players will be over the moon. Florian Kofeld, have to imagine his reaction at full time will be something to see. This is a fantastic result for Bremen if they can just hold on for these last few seconds. And the ball's out, and the referee's checking his watch, and that is it. Full time. Bremen get a vital 3 points to climb out of the relegation zone. What a performance. And it is actually a subdued reaction from Kofeld. Max Kruse with the most emotional response, yelling towards the Dortmund fans, but what a match for Bremen. No one would have backed them to get the points at Dortmund, but Dortmund's struggles continue. Dortmund
had most of the ball, but less of the chances. And in the end, it's a brilliant performance by Bremen, which subdued Dortmund's attack, and Bremen were able to take the chances that they had. They actually could have had a few more if they were a little less wasteful, but in the end, it's Maximilian Eggestein who opened the scoring in the 26th minute with a fantastic strike from the edge of the box. If you didn't see it live, look it up on YouTube right now. Absolutely brilliant goal, followed by a bundled finish by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and then the winner came from Gebre Selassie, scored from a Max Kruse corner with a diving header that Berkey had no chance to stop. And with that, Bremen walk away with the 3 points. I hope you guys have enjoyed Two Red Gringos amateur announcing. It's something that I have a lot of fun doing, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as I do. Hope to see you guys on the next edition. There will be polls through the week to decide which games I commentate on. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again soon. So thank you for tuning in, and enjoy your weekend.